Hi, I'm Nick. For the past year, I've been working and living in Denmark and sharing my experiences here, but I'm about to move back to Malaysia. As part of my final adventure in Europe, I decided to go on a road trip with a friend to the tip of Denmark, with our next stop being Aarhus.
In the wake of a heartbreak storm, I found the strength to reiterate the things I sworn to myself when I was younger and dreaming about seeing the world. And then you promised me one day we'd make it out to Japan, but now let's fast forward. We're lying on the floor, you threatened to call it.
There's little footprints on the floor. We are in Odense. Odense. I don't really know how to say the name. So Odense is the third largest city in Denmark. So first being Copenhagen, then you have Aarhus, and then here Odense. And then we're going to the H.C. Andersen house or museum. So like this is where like the Danish author previously lived when he was alive. He's not alive anymore, right?
No, died a long time ago.
Okay, just making sure. And then like he's basically, if you don't recognize the name, you'll definitely recognize some of the stories that he made before, which is like the
Little Mermaid.
Yeah, the Little Mermaid, the Emperor's New Clothes, the one where he's like wearing invisible clothes and stuff like that. The pea under the bed for like the princess, that one, and Thumbelina, and many more.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very exciting for us to be here. That's like literally the
footprint disappeared.
oh oh wait, wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Very quaint. This cute little area.
Take random one.
Yeah, it's just like last time, remember, in the architecture. Okay, and then we had to point at the thing for English.
How should I know you work?
You can feel a vibration when you just now, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's done. You gotta scan at that thing.
Then we play.
Then yeah, then you put, so it will automatically play. You hear? Walking through the Hans Christian Andersen Museum was a much more stranger and emotional experience than I expected. I was surrounded by stories I hear as a kid, but back then, I never really thought about who wrote them. They were just fairy tales that seemed to exist on their own. But as I wandered through, learning about his life, it hit me how much his own experiences inspired and shaped his stories. He traveled the world and loved passionately, even though it was often unrequited, which I guess then led him to writing about the Little Mermaid and the Steadfast Tin Soldier. Years ago, he published his autobiography in English and German. Then only in 1855 he published in Danish, and then 1856 he published in Russian. Like, is there any other language? Oh my gosh, yeah, Bengali? This man.
He was famous when he was alive, right?
Yeah, he was famous. He got knighted, and then when he went to England, apparently he became like really popular over there as well. So it's not like a lot of it, you know, like the musician where they artists where they die, then only become. He lived a very fruitful life. Leaving the museum, I felt a strange mix of nostalgia, admiration, and a bit of melancholy. It's amazing how a visit like this can just change the way you see stories that you already thought you knew. So if you ever find yourself in Denmark, I really recommend coming here, not just for the fairy tales, but to also know about the backstory behind the storyteller himself. At this point, we were really hungry since we hadn't eaten a proper meal all day. Most shops were closed since it was a public holiday, but thankfully we managed to find this cafe close by.
You're tearing my heart up like it's paper, and somehow you turn to a stranger. We used to work, now I'm trying to make sure that we're both on the same page.
It's a ruin in the middle of the city.
So you in the middle of the city.
Yeah, just randomly here. And then a ruin. On Google, I found this sculpture that little kids were writing down someone's abs. Oh my goodness. And then the kids would just fly down like oh my gosh. Something interesting about Denmark is that also you may find a voluntary church tax in your payslip. The exact number depends based on your area and which church that you are a member of, but don't worry because you can ask to take it off if you don't want to pay it. Continuing on our H.C. Andersen high, we entered his childhood home, which luckily for us was free to enter since we already bought the museum tickets. Just make sure to keep the receipt so that they can verify it's a same-day purchase. When Andersen was younger, he didn't have a big garden like we see now. It was recently added with traditional Danish plants and flowers that were common in those days, and also direct references of any flowers or plants that were mentioned in his stories. You can also find QR codes in the garden bed so that you can learn more about selected plants that were actual references inside his fairy tales.
Sneak out! Freak out! Freedom! Oh. 小鸭子 Aww. This is so scenic! Alone, actually. This is like the tree in Valheim, the swamps, and then you go and have to hit the gunk.
We spent the rest of our day unwinding at the park and enjoying the sunshine while it lasted. It's honestly the perfect way to end a day that's been full of nostalgia and exploration around the city. Odense made me reflect on my past, not just the childhood stories, but also how my experience shaped me to be the person I am today. Tomorrow, we'll be heading to Aarhus as part of our Denmark road trip, and I hope to see you guys there. Peace!